Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert. Do your own research. So today I'll be reviewing BTC and ETH, I think. Maybe a few altcoins, we'll see. If BTC does not look the best overall, as you can see on this one day, the market structure has been broken in the sense that we're seeing lower highs and lower lows, and this trend shift is the first that we've seen in quite some time. The 200-day EMA, traditionally a very solid entry. I did enter some altcoins yesterday. But there's some FUD going on still. I think China said that they are not going to be, they're going to be restricting BTC payments. And obviously the market structure overall just doesn't look very good. High sell volume coming in. It is important to note that the 200-day EMA has not been tapped since early September of 2020. So that's been quite some time overall. Traditionally, as I said, this is a good, it's a good entry level. Generally speaking, I do think that there is a high likelihood that price goes up and fills out this inefficient move to 55,000. So something like this would make sense to me. And with that said, I'm not really sure if we hit lower first. I mean, there are inefficiencies to fill higher, but there's likely a lot more liquidity down here. But the thing is that we've been dumping for quite some time, the last few days. So to me, it would make sense that price goes up and punishes late shorters and or late sellers, and then goes lower. I still don't really think that, I'm still very unsure if this is the low here. I honestly have no idea. It makes a lot of sense that this region, anywhere from like 43,000 to like 38,000 would be a low. But again, I can't really say that with much confidence. I mean, according to volume profile, like there is going to be a lot more support around $40,000, and we really aren't that far away from that. Relatively speaking, in terms of BTC value, like, or how crypto usually moves. But for now, I'm really just kind of taking trades very quickly. I am just going in and out of trades for the most part because I really am not sure where the bottom is. It's very possible this is the bottom. You know, it's very possible that price just takes its time around 40K, and it's just established a range between 40 to 65,000. So maybe what we see is something like this, where we just see some sort of big range develop, like this. Like this would be like, this would make sense to me. Like 38K maybe be the bottom, and then like price just ping pongs in this area for a few months. And it makes sense too because price hasn't really had time to really truly sit and accumulate. As you can see, you know, I always say this the last several crypto market reviews, but this current price action is still very distinctly different, in my opinion, than what we saw in 2020, where we saw lots of small accumulation patterns on the weekly, where price just kind of had a tight consolidation range. This is more classical accumulation, whereas something like this doesn't, you know, I've always said it the last few weeks, this reminds me more of distribution than accumulation might, you know, to me. You can see high volatility in both directions. Now, am I trying to say that this is going to go to like 20,000? I don't personally think so quite yet. I mean, there are still many support levels to go through. Like 30K should certainly provide some sort of like big support given volume profile. And 38K and so is still like pretty strong in my opinion as well. So I don't really think that, you know, we should be calling for $20,000 quite yet, but you know, never say never with crypto. I am waiting for one like last big capitulation candle for BTC before I start to consider calling this a bottom. Usually big ranges are formed after big shakeout candles, so you might see like something like go up and then like one big shakeout to like 38,000 or something, and then I feel more confident after price has kind of bottomed out, so to speak. And you can see these big moves happening. You can see big ranges forming after big shakeouts. So for instance, obviously this March 12th day was just horrible for all of crypto, and after that formed, I wouldn't really say a range formed, but it was like it marked the bottom. And usually when you see on these charts big tops and big bottoms are usually marked by usually big moves. Like another classical one was like the move from $6,000 all the way down to 3,000. Back when in 2018, when I had no idea what I was doing, period, and I still don't really know what I'm doing, period. I always thought this was like accumulation, like the $6,000 area, just because it kept tapping over and over and over. But as I found, accumulation really usually needs a big move up or down to really start the cycle. And as you can see back in 2018, 2019, it needed this big move from 6,000 to 3,000 to really start its accumulation process. So where does that really, where does that bring us now? I'm really looking for like kind of a big move down in this context. I mean, contextually, this is still bearish given the market structure on the daily. I'm really looking for like a big wipeout candle. Big shakeout. I don't know where it's going to be. Price could certainly grind up to like 55K and then dump. That would make a lot of sense to me. It would get a lot of people really hopeful, and price probably goes something like this, where it grinds up, everyone's really longing, and then boom, big shakeout to like 38,000 or even potentially lower, because price always goes lower than you think. BTC Dominance goes higher, and everyone's just crying at this point. And then at this point, this is the time to really buy, in my opinion. That's kind of like the price action that would look pretty appealing to me. I still feel strongly that altcoins are going to go do well overall. There's a few reasons for this. Like BTC Dominance is at a resistance, or it's at a support level, I believe, or a support region. Like this kind of area, last I checked it should bounce from here, in my opinion. And this is the BTC Dominance chart. BTC Dominance, as you know, or maybe you don't know, this is like Bitcoin's share of the market. It's Bitcoin's market share relative to the entire crypto market, is how I should put it. So generally speaking, when Bitcoin dominance goes up, that means that altcoin market share goes down relative to the entire market, and generally speaking, bearish for altcoins, specifically alt BTC pairs. Those are like really not very good. It would make a lot of sense to me to see like price go up and then like just dump a little bit lower, something like this. So what I'm trying to say is, in the short term, I think that alts could be in trouble. I've de-risked myself, and I have cash on hand, but I do believe that altcoins are going to be very strong going forward. And the reason, as I said, is that I think ETH BTC still looks pretty strong to me. Like, this is still a bullish trend, and this should cool off. It wouldn't surprise me to see this cool off to like 0.65. That's kind of like the area I'm viewing, 0.63. But this is still like a really bullish chart on ETH BTC, in my opinion. So a little cooling off would make sense, and then we see a little bit higher. And ETH BTC is usually a pretty good indicator from a macro standpoint for altcoins. And another reason that I think that that I think that altcoins are going to do well is just because of the market structure on many decentralized finance coins and many altcoins in general. As you can see, let me look for, this is a better chart. This is a better chart in general. So I'll just briefly go into YFI here because you can see this is like a big parabolic run back in the late summer of 2020. Only hit a very small consolidation period before one last exhaustion pump, and then everything died off. But the market structure on this type of run-up was very different than what we're seeing right here, where we're seeing lots and lots of accumulation ranges in general. Like price hit these accumulation ranges for quite some time, and it never saw this big parabolic run that you saw back in August of 2020. You saw these mini runs. They were still solid, don't get me wrong, 20,000 to 50,000, and then a big pullback. But you didn't see like these huge runs with no pullbacks or consolidation. Whereas here you saw big run up, lots of consolidation. You know, big run up here, and then like a slow grind consolidation move. So the market structure is definitely different now than what we saw back in 2020. And that's a big reason why I think that YFI and other decentralized finance coins really have another run left. For instance, like this right here is classical distribution, just constant selling, nonstop, does not give a fuck about your longs. This is not really what I'm seeing quite yet for these coins. Like the market structure is still quite a bit different in my opinion. And I still think that this has at least one more run left in it for the rest of the year before they start to really pull back like we saw in 2020. So that's a big reason why I think altcoins are going to do well. In the short term, I do think it's going to be very choppy. And if Bitcoin does do a very nasty rundown, whether it's here or if it goes up to like 55K and then dumps, then altcoins will die in the short term, but those will be good buying opportunities in my opinion. I'm personally viewing decentralized finance coins, YFI, Aave, some of the dexes like Sushi or Uni. Those are all pretty solid coins. Like Solana ecosystems will be very good as well. You can really choose anything that you want. As you can see, though, that crypto is almost always driven by narratives, and Solana ecosystems are going to be very strong, in my opinion, in the summer. So keep an eye on that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Good luck, and just don't get chopped out there. It's very choppy right now.